Welcome to another episode of Ola at Large, Aliyah Stories. This is David Levine. You have joined my podcast listening to my journey as a new immigrant to Israel. This week, we're going to have a special episode in honor of Yom Hazikaron, which is the National Remembrance Day, which is taking place this week. For those of you who remember last year when I made Aliyah, it was soon Yom Hazikaron, and I attended a English language event for English speakers in Israel for Yom Hazikaron at the Michael Levin Base. I am going to be attending that again this week, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to speak to somebody at the base to hear about the work they do and the event that's coming up. So I asked Shira Brown, who is the head of PR and digital content, to join the podcast. And we're going to welcome Shira to the pod right after this. Thank you so much for joining me today, especially in the lead up to such an important event. I'm Shira. I'm looking forward to hearing about your journey, your work with the Michael Levin Base, and the powerful community that you support. So, Shira, can you introduce yourself and your role at the Michael Levin Base?
Of course, and thank you for having me. This platform is amazing, and we're honored to be part of your podcast, David. Okay, so my name is Shira. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I'm head of PR and marketing for the Michael Levin Base. I'm like a super fan, and it's one of the reasons why I made Aliyah myself, was because I heard the story of Michael. So when I got hired, I'm like, wow, this is like sheirut, like from heaven. It's like a perfect match. And I myself made Aliyah, and I myself was a lone bat sheirut. So again, perfect match from God above. And
Wow.
yeah, Michael Levin is an inspiration. Yeah.
Amazing. So, all right, there's a lot to unpack even in your introduction, but let's go back a step. Can you tell us about the Michael Levine Base and when it was started? Who is it named after? What the story is behind the base itself?
Of course. So we started in 2020. There was a soldier. I'll start from the beginning. There was a soldier named Michael Levin. He made Aliyah from Philadelphia by himself in 2002 to Israel. And he, super motivated man. He couldn't take a no. He went to get enlisted. They said no. We'll put you behind a desk. He climbed garbage cans, climbed into someone really senior in the army, and said, "You're gonna enlist me." And he got what he wanted, and he got into the paratrooper unit. And he was actually he trained with them, everything. He went for a break home, and actually during that break, the war started. The Second Lebanon War started, and he called his commander and said, "Hey, I'm coming back. Put me in." And the commander's like, "No, you're not. I can't afford to have a lone soldier get injured or get killed. It's not good PR, I guess." So he's like, "No, I'm coming." He's like, "Okay, come, but you'll watch the bags in the back. Like, we're not putting you in." And he got what he wanted. And he told them he's gonna watch the bags, and he went in with his crew. So he got killed by a sniper in Lebanon, in south of Lebanon. And in his life, his dream was to help lone soldiers. Because when he made Aliyah and became a lone soldier, he was one of the first ones. It wasn't that popular. He really is a legacy. So his friends said, "Hey, we need to start something that will be an umbrella that will help lone soldiers in Israel." And that's how we started.
Tell me a little bit about your journey about moving to Israel. So you said you've come from Detroit. How long have you been here?
Yeah, this is my 11th year. Thank God.
Wow.
Yeah.
What inspired you to come move to Israel?
So I was super idealistic, and I was always involved with the shlichim that would come to my high school. And I said, I don't see a future for myself in the States. And I guess I was right, because my family also moved later on. But I made Aliyah at 18, fresh off of high school. And I said, I'm going to do university and start my life in Israel, because it'll be easier than making Aliyah later for me. So I came with just a backpack. I could have brought a whole lift for free. Came with a backpack. And then I started off as a lone bat sheirut, which means national service. And I did 2 years of national service alone. So I really got to know the country from an Israeli perspective, from an Israeli woman that are religious can choose to do national service and they don't have to do the army. So it was a great way to start off my my life in Israel. It was a great way.
So let's go into that just for a quick second to explain that to folks. So when you turn 18 in Israel, when you're an Israeli citizen, there's an obligation to serve in the military. But if you are a woman and a religious woman, you have an opportunity to not serve in the army, but you have an opportunity to do something called national service. Actually, my nieces did national service; they did not serve in the army. So, what is national service, and like, what are the kinds of things can you do? How long does it last?
There's a huge spectrum. You can go from hospitals, healthcare, to schools to work with special ed kids. You can do in the arts and art therapy. What are your nieces doing? Do you,
They did. Oh, they did all sorts of things. They worked with mostly with disadvantaged kids, and one of them worked with some Yemeni senior citizens. So it's 2 years worth of service, and you basically live at the location where you are volunteering.
or at the location if it's like a day and a night problem, like a program like an orphanage, or if it's not, if it's just a day job or a night job, so they'll give you an apartment nearby, and the government pays for the apartment, and they give you like a tiny salary just to live by. So you could do 1, 2, or 3 years, and it's not obligatory at all. Like the women who do this, and some men do it too, are completely volunteers. Like they don't have to. It's a really beautiful thing. And it's all over society. It's not just one, like we said, it could be animals, healthcare, senior citizens. It's amazing.
Okay, so we've gotten into what Benot Sheirut are, but the bigger group, I believe, that the base serves are lone soldiers. What are lone soldiers?
I like to say that there could be also a spectrum. About half of the lone soldiers in Israel at the moment are Israelis that come from troubled families, or Israeli orphans, orphaned from one parent. That's about half of them. And the other half are Olim from all over the world, really all over. Like at the base, we have flags from every country that they're from, and there's over 50 flags. It's quite incredible. And then they come, they're volunteers because they could just have continued their life outside of Israel. And they come and but they're called lone soldiers because they have minimum or no support from their families.
Wow, so that's interesting. So you serve not only folks that are international, but also local Israelis.
Totally. Yeah,
Amazing.
totally.
And what kind of challenges do lone soldiers and lone Benot Sheirut face that make support from places like the Michael Levin Base so important?
Great question. So, a spectrum, but let's start from their basic needs, especially combat or more intense jobs in the army. So they do the army. They're on base. They're not even at their apartment. They come back to their apartment on the weekend, and there's no mother or family to greet them and cook them warm food. Because you know about army food, it's not that great. So, and their
Yeah.
laundry, all they want to do is rest and like they're taking care of the Israeli citizens their whole 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks on base. All they want to do at home is to rest and be taken care of. And they're young, they're 18, and they don't have that. So we start from there, from their basic needs, not even the events. We didn't even get there yet. Their laundry, we have laundry machines. Their supplies, we don't want them to buy supplies. They barely get any salary. It's volunteer. We have a whole supply closet. They come with the empty backpack. They leave with a full backpack. Warm meals almost every day, every Shabbat, including Leila Seder. That's us. So their basic needs are like, okay, we got you. We have your back.
And where is the base located?
So we're right off the Machane Yehuda Shuk in Jerusalem, and I'm welcoming everyone on the podcast to come in. I'll give you a VIP tour myself. So we're central.
Amazing.
And that's a great way to get people. The more, the merrier. Yeah.
And soldiers come when they have time off to the base, uh, even if they don't live in the Jerusalem area. They stop by and then head out to wherever it is that they live, or do they don't actually live on your base, right?
Right. So we cover everything except for
Hmm.
living. But yeah, they come on uniform. They come out of Gaza. They come out of Lebanon. They stop by and then they go home because we're taking care of them. Yeah.
Um, and so approximately how many soldiers would you say that you support at any given time?
So soldiers and Bnot sheirut combined
Yes.
around three
Yeah.
thousand at least. We don't count or ask them who they are at the door. We accept them. We welcome them. But around three and a half, 4,000 per year. Yeah.
Wow.
It's huge.
And
Any given day, the base could be just full. They're hanging out. They don't have to come for an event. We have couches, PlayStation. Yeah.
amazing. And how has the base? How long have you been involved in the base?
So about half a year, I got chosen to be on that team, and I love it.
Amazing. And so tell me a bit more about the services, and then also can you tell me about the events that you put on for the soldiers?
Yeah, your questions keep on getting better. So the services we spoke about their personal needs, hygiene, meals. So that's the base. Like that's what they need to have to feel comfortable. A person needs someone a meal, clean clothes. That's the basics. And then we go on. We have weekly events. There's too many so many events for them to choose from. Every Thursday night there's a cool event at bowling, movies, really fun for Bnot Shiru and for soldiers. And then Pesach Seder we would host. Shabbat meals we would host. So we're really open a ton, and we have events for them to have fun. And we always have good food. So come.
I mean, amazing.
We're foodies.
Having
We're
having
foodies.
I've volunteered on Israeli military bases a few times, and I know how uh, the food can be not so great on some of them. Some of them are actually great. Some of them are actually great, but some of them not so great. And definitely, meals out in the field are not going to be particularly great. So this week is a big week for Israel and also for the base. There's an event that's going to be happening for a day called Yom Hazikaron. So, Shira, can you tell us what Yom Hazikaron is and what happens generally on that day? And then we'll dive into what's happening on the base.
Of course. So Yom HaZikaron means Memorial Day for fallen soldiers and victims of terror. And it's a solemn day in Israel. There's a siren at night and there's a siren in the morning. And it's really like a slow day where everyone can go to see monuments, to go to the cemeteries, and to visit victim of terrors and soldiers' graves.
And when you say there's a siren at night and siren in the morning, what does that mean? A siren?
So it's not a siren that we hear for rockets or for an attack. It's a straight monotone siren, and we all stand up wherever we are. Everyone in Israel, even if you're driving, you pull over and stand up if it's safe to stop. And we stop for a minute, about a minute and a half, just in a moment of silence to remember what happened and what we lost to get to our state today.
And it's a different kind of Memorial Day. It's not like Memorial Day in America. There's no Memorial Day sales, right? It's a much more serious.
Yes, yes, it's much more serious. And unfortunately, if you ask anyone, like, what's your connection to Yom HaZikaron, to Memorial Day, unfortunately, they'll know someone. They'll say, my friend, my neighbor, my family member. It connects to everyone personally in Israel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on the day, what do people generally do on the day?
So soldiers often go to cemeteries, and there's a soldier at every single grave. of every single soldier that fell in Israel, and they stand there all day. So citizens are always welcome to come in. The base goes to Michael Levin's and Har Herzl, and he's the reason why we started the base. He's the namesake, a lone soldier that was killed in Lebanon in the Second Lebanon War. And it's a solemn day, so if you're at home and you can't get out, is to teach your kids, watch a movie about a soldier, and if you can, I would go to a cemetery, go to a monument, and and learn about the people who protected us.
Yom Hazikaron is this week, and there's an event happening at the base. Can you tell people what it is, and if you were to attend, what you can expect when you go?
Yes, of course. And it really connects to Michael Levin because he himself was a fallen soldier. And everyone can attend, even if you're not in Israel. If you want, I could send you streaming links. We're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and a third-party site. So it's an event in Ammunition Hill in Jerusalem, which is the place of actually the Six-Day War. So it's also really relevant location. And we're having Michael Oren, who was the ambassador to Israel, the U.S. ambassador to Israel, come and speak and be the MC. And we're having 3 moms who lost their sons. One was a mom of a hostage, Iris Chaim, and she lost her son, Yotam Chaim. He was a hostage that escaped, and the soldiers thought he was a terrorist and killed him, our RDF soldiers. We're having Dina Gedalia. She's a mom of a soldier, Yosef Gedalia, that he was killed on the 7th in Kfar Aza when he was fighting the soldiers, fighting Hamas. And then we have Limor Rom, and her son, Yonatan Rom, was at the Nova party. He was dancing, having fun, and he was murdered by Hamas. So these are 3 really personal stories. The 3 moms are amazing. They also, each one of them is a pillar of light, and all 3 of them stepped up from the 7th on, talking and being advocates for Israel. And it's going to be an event where we remember the fallen and take a breather together, just saying, hey, we're here because of them.
I went last year, and it was very meaningful, and I expect that this year will be just as meaningful, if not more so. It was very, very impactful last year. Um, do other soldiers attend this event? Are there other soldiers that wind up contributing to the event?
Yeah, and I'm happy it was impactful. That's our goal. Yes, there's soldiers that are going to be doing a flag march. There's soldiers that are going to be talking. We have a soldier that's a lone soldier that lost a lot of his friends in battle, and he's going to be talking too. His name is Aaron. And we have soldiers that will be lowering the flag too.
Amazing. And just to highlight that this is an event that's in English, which is one of the biggest English, if not probably the biggest English language event for Yom HaZikaron. So it's really great for any kind of Olim that haven't mastered Hebrew yet, which is why I'm very much going, because I have not mastered Hebrew yet. As head of PR, part of your work is helping the public better understand and connect with the community. What do you wish more people knew about lone soldiers, Benot sheirut, and the challenges that they face?
And I think about that every day. So I think about the sacrifice, and the 2 things: the sacrifice that they did to get where they are today, and a little peek into their day-to-day life, because they're both challenges. The sacrifice that they did are incredible. They could have went to college. They could have been partying on a campus. They could have started, I don't know, they could have started a high-tech job, and they just chose, wow, I'm going to be a soldier. Wow, I'm going to defend my homeland, my country. So, and for sheirut, the same. They're dropping whatever they had planned, whatever they want to do, and they're saying, okay, first my country and then me. So it's a huge, huge sacrifice. That's 1. And 2 is, I would love people to see a day-to-day like a peek in their day-to-day life, saying, wow, this is what I go through. Because they don't have a mom at the end of the day to say, hey, wow, what a hard day. Can I have like a cup of soup? Or can I have a hug? They don't have that. So, yeah, they need us.
How does the broader community, so people in Israel and others, best support lone soldiers and lone benot sheirut, not just on Yom HaZikaron, but all year round?
So, great question. In Israel and abroad, everyone can help the base. It's just different ways to help. So, let's start with in Israel because it's closer. In Israel, number one, people can come, they can knock. I've seen people do it. The other week, this woman came, she knocked, she goes, what can I do for you? So we said, hey, the women soldiers need hair gel. She went to the pharmacy. She actually had a walker. She filled up her walker with hair gel and she brought it back. Incredible. Like, she's like, what are you missing? So that's a great way for everyone to help is just knock or call or come and say, what can you do? From far, other ways from close is we go on base visits and sheirut lumi visits, which I forgot to talk about. And you can join us. We come and look at their day to day and say, just like a mom would visit their son and give them cookies, or a mom would visit their daughter and meet their bosses at their sheirut lumi. If they're in a hospital, meet the head doctor and like be proud of them. So we do that too. We send our team and volunteers too. So that could be a great way for an experience in Israel, for your followers, for people in Israel, and and to help. It's mutual. So that's in Israel. And for abroad, it's donating, it's sharing our posts, it's being loud, it's saying, hey, I have a connection to this newspaper. Let me get you in there. Like wow, that's like amazing for us to so help us by donating and to strengthen our impact abroad.
Amazing. So, just a few final thoughts as we wrap up. So, looking back on your own immigration journey and your work at the base, what are you most proud of?
Oh, that's a good one. What am I most proud of? I think how I grew up and matured. Like, if I could see myself 11 years ago, I don't think I would recognize her. Because Israel, Israel matures you very, very fast. Really fast. Throws you curveballs. So, yeah, like good curveballs. I'm saying, like, what I learned and what kind of woman I became is incredible. Yeah.
And what gives you hope when you think about the future?
So good one. So before the war, I was like, okay, the next generation is very into social media. They're not connecting. They're not thankful. I was like having all these thoughts. And then actually the war is like, wow, the nation showed up. Like we know how to show up for each other. We have each other's back. The soldiers showed up, the Shirut Lumi girls showed up, the public showed up. I just spoke with someone today who made on the 7th, they made it's called a pina chama, which is just a makeshift shed that makes delicious food for soldiers right outside of Gaza. And he like that's showing up. 100,000 soldiers went through his pina chama. Insane, amazing. So this generation is showing up, and that gives me fire and passion.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story and the meaningful work that you and the Michael Levin Base are doing. We like to close the podcast with a word of the pod. So this is an Israeli word, could be Hebrew, could be Arabic, or slang that unless you're in Israel, you wouldn't know it. So what do you got for us?
True. I love that question because you feel like an insider. So the word is tash, and it's a slang, and it's short for it's tafshin, which is tanae shirut, which means your conditions for working or volunteering. So it's a very specific army word. Shirut also uses it, and you say like, what's your tash? Are you getting gift cards on the weekends? Are you getting extra time to see your family? Lone soldiers that get a flight home, and it's like a competition. Like, my Tash is better than yours. Like, it's cute. It's cute.
Ah,
And there's even a job in the army for someone that's supposed to take care of the lone soldiers called a mashakit Tash, and her job is to take care of the their conditions and make sure they're okay. So it's a good word.
So how would if I would use that if I met a soldier or met a lone soldier, I would or Benot sheirut, I would say, "What's your Tosh looking like these days?"
Yeah, and they'll love you. Because it's a good,
Amazing.
relevant question. It's a good
All
question. It's
right.
like, how are they taking care of you? Yeah.
How's your Tosh? How's it going? Good. I love it. Thank you so much. Look forward to the event this week. I'm sure it's going to be really meaningful. I will try to find you to say a quick hello. I'm sure you're going to be really busy running around. And to that point, thank you again for making time for this interview. And Hatzlacha to you and the entire base.
Yeah, you made me smile. I'll find you for a selfie. We'll post it on your wall. So thank you.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely. All
can't
right.
wait. Thank you.
That's all for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Hilo Simito for helping produce this episode. And please like, subscribe, give us your comments, and check us out wherever you download your podcast and also on Instagram at Aliyah_stories. See you next time.